Hello, my name is Mordred Viking, and I'm back! And I seem to be peaking a lot, hang on. Might just be because I'm shouting I'm back. No, it seems to be fine. So yes, it's just because I'm shouting, so I'll stop shouting. Anyway, hello everyone. It has been about a week and a half since my last stream. Possibly closer to 2 weeks actually. I was basically away. I was running a youth camp, so we had people from Germany, the Czech Republic, the USA, and obviously people here from the UK in town, and I was hosting a couple of them here and also running the events and things itself. So it's been a interesting couple of days. It's certainly not been a vacation, but I just needed to take the time off and concentrate on that. They have now gone, so we are back to normal. I am going to start here with... Wait, was I going to do... I was going to do Total War tonight. Oh well, never mind. I've totally forgotten what the schedule said. So we'll be doing EU4 today, and maybe Total War tomorrow. I totally mind blanked there. Never mind. I've been looking forward to playing this anyway. So we are going to be playing EU4. We're going to be continuing with the Commonwealth. In the last session, if I remember correctly, the Ottomans and Muscovy were very naughty and allied together. Also, Dana, thank you very much for the subscription. 4 months in a row. Thank you. Getting in early there, just before I actually started talking. I was like, I must remember this. I must remember this. I must remember this. And I totally forgot. So yeah, thank you. We are... Right, so yes, Muscovy and the Ottomans were allied. However, when I formed the Commonwealth, the Ottomans had a cruel leader who decided he didn't want to back the Muscovites if I attacked Muscovy. So I attacked Muscovy. The Ottomans did not accept the call to arms. We beat Muscovy up, released Novgorod, most importantly releasing the city of Novgorod, which they require to create Russia. So we have effectively blocked that. We are now allied to Novgorod, and hopefully Sweden's not going to attack them. I think we're also allied with Sweden. We are indeed. In fact, let's just take a look. I need to refresh my memory with exactly what's going on here. So we are allied with Sweden, Brandenburg, Kazan, and Novgorod. So we've basically surrounded Muscovy with all of their enemies. And then we were allied with Bohemia for a while, but then a war between Brandenburg and Bohemia broke out, and then we decided to support Brandenburg because we have blocked Brandenburg from forming Prussia, and I kind of want to keep them on our side. We don't have any interest in going into Germany, so I'm quite happy for them to take over that, and if we can keep good relations with Brandenburg, I'll be very happy, especially if they can break Austrian hegemony, just because I don't like Austria. Our goal is to push east into Russia and basically become Russia ourselves. Not literally, we're just going to take all the land until we have a border with Ming. Our ultimate goal is the border with Ming. And hello everyone, hello. Lots of you popping up in chat, which is awesome. I was kind of wondering just how many people would pop back again, because there's always kind of this fear amongst YouTubers and Twitch streamers that if you don't release anything for a while, that people will just kind of forget about you and disappear. So it was quite nice seeing so many of you here in chat. So awesome. Thank you so much for that. Because I am still alive. So the Polish, Lithuanian, Muscovite Commonwealth. Yeah, kind of. And we did indeed go Reformed, yes. So basically what happened is Reformed actually appeared in Sandomierz here. And because it appeared in our country, I was like, you know what? Why not? We're going to embrace this and go Reformed. So we've been doing the Reformed thing. We are slowly converting Lithuania for the second time. So we basically, as Poland, we're helping Lithuania convert from Orthodox to Catholicism. We are now Reformed. So we're, again, converting poor old Lithuania to Reformed. And at some point I might see if I can make Brandenburg Reformed. I'd like to spread that a little bit more around. There seems to be a pretty decent split of Catholic and Protestant / Reformed nations. Unfortunately, England doesn't seem to have gone Anglican, which would have been nice. And France. What the hell happened to France? Crikey. We have a really big Burgundy. Burgundy might actually form France if they take them out. Holland is independent, so we could also see a Netherlands appearing. And Aragon has completely taken out Castile. They were in a personal union for a while, but Aragon actually broke away from them. So Iberia is in a mess. Portugal and southern Spain have been taken by Morocco. Aragon is swallowing up Castile. France has imploded, and wow, my voice is cracking. This is what happens when you don't talk for that long. Actually, what I need to do is get my tea supplies. Are we going to see an Aragonese Spain? Quite possibly, and I'll be kind of curious to see how that changes things. Whether Aragon's going to be less focused on colonization, for example, maybe more focused on Europe and the Mediterranean. It's possible. I don't know if that affects the AI, though I would kind of suspect it would. Yeah, apparently a week is enough to be out of practice talking. Because my voice is really breaking. I don't like this. What, 5 minutes into this stream so far? Oops. So I might not do the full 3 hours that I have scheduled here. We'll see how it goes. Streams tomorrow will be as scheduled. So we've got the Gothic Titans coming up first with Bussy. And then at 10 we have what's probably going to be Total War Attila, seeing as I'm doing Poland today. Or I might just do a double session of EU4. Don't know. One of the things that I'm super excited about, actually, is there was a dev diary for EU4 that was released today. Let me just double check that. I seem to have closed it already. 31st of July. It was indeed today, where they are redoing Centres of Trade. So I've just linked to you the dev diary there in chat. And basically what this is doing is they are making Centres of Trade rather than fixed positions. I think they're still going to be fixed, but they are now in 3 levels. So for coastal centres of trade, you have the staple port, which is just a minor trade power boost, so it's kind of like an estuary. We have the entrepot, which gives you more trade power, development cost reduction, institution spread, which is the same as trade centres are right now. Huzzah! And then we have world ports, which have like triple the trade power. They increase naval tradition, massive boost to institution spread, and for the entire area, not just the one province, a development cost reduction, sailors boost, and an additional building slot. Oh wow, that's a lot of building slots actually in some of those areas where you have like 3 or 4 provinces. And then inland trading centres have a similar thing. But what they have done with this system is they've spread out the number of trade posts. So they have a screenshot, for example, of India. And like the entire coast of India is now dotted with minor trade posts. And then as the Europeans or the Indians come in and take them, they can then start upgrading them. So that's the other thing. Trade posts can now be upgraded between those 3 tiers. I did think that it looked a little bit cheap. I suspect they will tweak these numbers. But going from a level 1 to a level 2 will cost you 200 ducats, and level 2 to level 3 will cost you 1,000. You can have as many level 3s as you have merchants. So the big trading powers with trade ideas and or colonial nations and or trading companies, depending on how they work now, will have more level 3 trading posts. However, every time a province switches owner, the level goes down. So if you're in an area where land is constantly flipping between owners, then you're going to have a lot of low-level people. So I kind of like that. That's an interesting idea, and I'm very happy that trade is seeing some love here, and it's going in a direction I quite like. I like that you have more control over these types of things, and I would very much like to see the ability to establish new trading posts or new trading centres as well. Maybe that's what Merchant Republic should do, because that gives you one hell of a reason to play as a Merchant Republic. I like that idea. Anyway, Andy Almighty, resub 2 months. Thank you so much. Love watching you stream. Mordlings forever. I quite agree. Awesome. Alright, so we have Moravia with a high liberty desire. That's because I just pissed them off. Was that Moravia? Wait, where's Moravia? Moravia's there. Oh, Moravia I just took off of Bohemia. I remember now. So they're a little bit pissy about that fact. And our relations with them are super low, but we should be improving relations with them. That's a spy network, that's not relations. That's relations. Okay, good. So once our relations improve, we should be fine. Oh, right! No, what happened is Brandenburg split them off from Bohemia. Then I jumped in and attacked them and vassalized them. That's what happened. Venice in the future overpowered? Possibly. Don't know. So they're taking a cue from Mio. Paradox do take a lot of their good ideas from mods. I mean, just look at how Rome Imperator is doing population. That population system is basically just a copy and paste of the Mio and Tax's population system, which is what they basically evolved development to be. And actually Johann gave them like a special screening of Imperator to kind of say, hey, I took your ideas and this is what we're doing with it, which I thought was really quite nice. Didn't even realise Moravia was a country in this game. It can be released. I don't think it's one that is there by default, but it can be released. That's a nice Lübeck. I like seeing Lübeck growing strong. Used to be one of my favourite nations. Back when they were called the Hansa, before trading merchant republics sucked. Right, so we have some manpower, but we could do with more. Treasury is still growing. Do we have any loans? We do not have any loans. Excellent. Thank you, Pastor Mordred. I think we are just coming out of a war with Muscovy, so we have a truce. We don't have a truce? Interesting. Very interesting. We don't have a truce with Muscovy. Muscovy has no allies. Really? How long ago was this war to release Novgorod? In fact, I think that Sweden and Denmark released this back to Novgorod as well. Is Novgorod allied to Sweden? No, just with us. And Sweden is independent. I don't think Norway is. Norway is independent too. Interesting. And the Danes have been taking over the Baltics, but that's fine. I'll take them back at some point. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start getting spy network against Muscovy, and we will seriously consider attacking them again. What happened to Hungary? The Ottomans happened to Hungary. Oh, and I happened to Hungary. I think I attacked them, took a bunch of their territories. That's what these provinces here in the north are, because they owned Slovakia at the start. And then after I dealt with their armies and completely annihilated them, the Ottomans invaded and basically took the rest. They made some poor choices and allied with the wrong people. Namely Bohemia? I don't remember. I do remember that taking these provinces was really expensive in AE. Speaking of AE, my going after Muscovy is not going to annoy anyone. Bohemia is already super pissed. Austria, ooh. Austria is super pissed. Do I have a truce with Austria? Wow, they have a lot of truces. And I am one of them. That ends in 63. Okay, we have loads of time. So I apparently planned that already. So we would have time to recover the aggressive expansion. What I might actually do, potentially, is send a diplomat to go and improve relations. But we'll do that in a minute. What are the special features of Reformed, as I've never done it? So Reformed has what's called the fervor system. You gain fervor over time depending on your religious unity and whether you're at peace, your prestige, your stability, and then that will tick up to 100. However, you can be spending those points. For instance, I'm right now spending it on stability, so I'm gaining 5.98 and I'm spending 5. Boosting up my stability. Stability is currently giving me national unrest -2, which is super useful as the Commonwealth, because you usually have a lot of problems in Lithuania, especially when they have not yet been converted, and this is helping me stabilize. So part of the reason I have not been crippled by uprisings is because of this stability. So actually for that, it was a brilliant choice. It also gives you more diplomatic reputation, which means easier alliances, and that has also come in helpful. Then you can also get trade and or war. One nice thing about the fervor system is you can actually have all 3 of these active at once, or none of them. So generally it's a good idea to have one of them active, because you will usually be gaining fervor. And then in times of war, you switch on war. So you either have stability or trade on permanently, depending on your type of nation. And then when you go to fight, you put on war. War gives you, and this is kind of crazy, plus 10% morale of armies and navies. So that's 10% from that. We have another 15% coming from field defences. We could also take defensive for a further 15%. So we could have an absolutely obscene amount of morale for our armies if we wanted to go that route. I think I'm going to go more for the we're just going to kill them really quickly route, like Prussia, because we also have a lot of bonuses for that. For example, winged hussars. And also the fact that I've gone aristocratic, which means my cavalry hit even harder. Didn't I work out that we have like plus 70% cavalry attack or something ridiculous? Plus 63% cavalry attack. Which is insane. Crippled by uprising. Since when's that ever happened to us? Never. 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 Nope. Nope. Not a problem. Reformed is also highly tolerant. You gain +1 advisor if you're a reformed nation, also tolerance of heretics +2, which will actually compound rather nicely with our Polish ability, which is tolerance of heretics +3, so we actually have +5 tolerance of heretics. And if we went humanist, we would get even more. So we don't actually have to go religious ideas at all if we didn't want to. We could go humanist. With the religious unity, it would cancel a lot of the problems and deal with our fervour issue, so we would max out our fervour. We have another -2 national unrest from that. Tolerance of heretics would then be +8. We would have no problems with heretics. Years of separatism -10. I am really tempted to go humanist. I mean, over time we can very slowly but surely be converting our nation, but in the meantime be dealing with the stability from humanism. Might well do that. We'll see. We'll see. What is the cav-inf ratio of Poland again? 60%. But if you have Cossacks, you can reduce that to like 70% or increase. Flashes back to religious uprisings during the Novgorod Wars. Shh, we don't talk about that. Is the Great Horde still kicking? No, that was in the previous attempt, where the Great Horde was quite strong. Right now it's Kazan that's really the big dog in this area, and they're allied to us, so I'm fine with them. Right, unpopular mathematician. Like many rulers in this age, Jan I wanted to surround himself with great minds that can debate the secrets of the world. Some possess great wit and excel at debates, while others are more suited to solitary experiments or mathematical calculations. There is no doubt quite a bit of rivalry at times, as the favour of the king can be a very beneficial thing to have for any thinker, scientist, or inventor. One such intelligent fool has lately come to be ridiculed by many peers. Christopas Walwowski has a great mind for mathematics, but is notably a poor debater, and some would argue the reputation of the court suffers for indulging such work. So we can gain innovativeness and lose prestige. We have 98 prestige. Or we can gain prestige and legitimacy. I don't need either of those. I would much rather have the innovativeness, because we've actually been focusing innovativeness pretty darn heavily, and we've got 18 already, which is reducing all of our power costs for the rest of the game by 1.8%, which can really add up. Can't be intolerant that there's no one to prosecute. My voice sounds really off. Might just be me. Just sounds weird. Right, let's go ahead and do that. I wanted to wait until the end of the month, which I think has now passed, to see if I could actually declare war on Muscovy. I want to see if I have any claims on them. Let's go back to speed 4. Yeah, I think the previous war I was fighting was against... Oh, it was Bohemia, wasn't it? It was Bohemia and Austria. Which is why I have such a long truce with Austria, because I took so much from Bohemia. And I also split out, like, Tyrol from Austria. And I think I gave them a bunch of land to Venice. I think I released these provinces back to Venice. I did a lot of damage to them. It was fun. I do not have any claims on them. Okay, good. Sound a little hoarse. Yeah, I don't know why. I haven't been hoarse all day. It's just since I started streaming. Novgorod is at war with Muscovy. I endorse this war. Go away, Austria. You have no jurisdiction here. And what you gonna do about it? Declare war on me? I have a truce for like 20 years. Ooh. My heir is an entrepreneur. I approve. And we are getting covert pretty quickly with Novgorod, so I might actually start shifting a couple of my armies north. Nah, I'm not going to do it just yet. It's fine. Oh, Kazan's going for a piece of them as well. Muscovy is screwed. What's my army composition? We're currently running with an 865. So we're actually fairly artillery heavy for this era. 1549. Our artillery hasn't quite reached the level where I really start to rate them. They're still culverins. Demi-cannon and leather cannon are when I think they start to get good. So Miltech 16 rather than Miltech 10. But we have a lot of cavalry, as expected, and we're slowly shifting our cavalry to Cossacks, which are another thing which is just going to make us even more ridiculously strong, because Cossacks have a plus 10% shock damage bonus, which also compounds with the drill bonus of another up to 10%, plus, of course, the professionalism, which will be even more. This is what I meant with my armies being redonkulous. Yeah, I think it's fine. It's your Android's vocal processors being slightly misaligned. Oh, I'm sorry. I will need to make modifications. Moving quickly by boat or on horseback, the Cossacks of the steppe are very adept raiders. Several such raids have lately laid waste to our countryside and even major cities, some way from our borders. Demand that they be brought to justice. Haha, Muscovy is like, they sent us some monetary recompense. Thank you very much for that. Now, when can I kill you? Not yet. Soon. Heir to our throne is Carol from Hesse. That's fine. Actually, one thing I did want to look at was to get away from the elected monarchy and switch to a regular monarchy, because it actually screws us several times. Not allowed to change manually. I wonder if that's an event or something that occurs later. Yeah, it must be. Alright. Why so few infantry? Because I'm already at my force limit and I want as much cavalry as possible. Because remember, I have higher ratios. I can support more cavalry. My cavalry infantry ratio, let's actually double check this, so someone did ask that earlier, is 60%. So I can do more. And also another thing to consider is I can always hire mercenary infantry if I need to. Cavalry and artillery are way more expensive. Hey, fighter, Total War works again. That's awesome. I know you were kind of upset about that. European conquest soon. No, we're going east. We're going into Russia. Which is why I'm quite happy to see these guys beating up Muscovy. Roquelaure is now considered part of our patrimony. Lignicia as well. Cool. Right, let's fabricate a claim. I think that Mozhask is obviously completely mine. Like, there is no doubt about this. Let's move you guys north. And have you in position, ready to launch an assault. Because I want to see if I can grab Moscow before any of these guys do. I'm pretty confident that I will. Wait, why is there no sound? There isn't, is there? That's all normal. Hang on. Why is there no sound? It's not my... I haven't accessed... Oh. Oh, yeah, I've muted the game. That's not actually as stupid as it sounded. In the volume mixer control thing, you have the sound volume for the speaker and for the headset, which are separate. But what it doesn't do is it doesn't automatically change the default, so whichever is currently the one being used for sound, it just stays with whatever was on before. So I was muting the game for my speakers, thinking I was muting and unmuting when I was doing the stream introduction music-y thing, Miracle of Sound stuff. And then when I unmuted it, I hadn't actually unmuted the headset version, I had unmuted the speakers version. Whatever, unimportant. It's working now. Alright, we're at war, so we may as well start to move on in. Who's my best sieger? You are pretty darn good. Level 4. Level 5. Hello. Actually, can you get to Moscow? Oh, you can totally get to Moscow already. What are you? Level 3. You head on over to here. Maybe Kaluga. No, 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 no. Damn you! Kazan got to Muscovy first. How quickly did that fall? Crikey. Oh, we're doubling up. That's not good. Let's start taking some of the other stuff away real quick. Local tax increase. Gained 1 base tax in Turov. Cool. Also more conversion. To Gola. Sure. That's actually a lot of unity and pretty quickly done. Do it. Isn't 6 cav just the normal amount I have anyway? Honestly, as Commonwealth, you should probably go higher. Ordinarily, the reason you go for cavalry is because of their flanking bonuses, but because the Commonwealth has such ridiculous combat ability increases for cavalry, you probably just want to max out your cavalry anyway. Yeah, shock becomes less and less important, and cavalry are quite a lot more expensive, but because that number is so high, usually as like Prussia, you'll get plus 30, plus 40% maximum. Plus 63% is obscene. And I could theoretically get that even higher if I wanted to. Growth of the printing industry. The ability to mass produce the written word would revolutionize the spread of information in many ways, the early modern society as a whole. Pioneered by Renaissance men such as the Venetian printer Aldus Manutius, the new art helped fuel the Renaissance by making translated classics more widely available. Where did it spawn? In Pfalz. Which, interestingly, is some of the Germans that were visiting over the last week are from there. So there you go. It does seem to be coming into our territory pretty quickly. Why is that? Province is Protestant or Reformed. Ah, so it spreads to us first. Oh, I do like this. Colonialism hasn't even spread to half of these places yet. That's interesting. England doesn't... Oh, they've embraced... Have they embraced it? Hasn't spread to most of their provinces, but they do have some. So you should have more cav than infers Poland. Not more, because the penalties for having too many cavalry versus infantry are still pretty punishing, so you do need to watch out for the balance here, because infantry die quicker than cavalry. Cavalry do tend to be hardier. So don't ever go over that limit, otherwise you suffer like a minus 25% combat efficiency, which hurts. It really, really hurts. Growth of the business of draperies. Our efforts to maximize trading profits in the area of Wielkopolska has borne fruit in the province of Kalisz. Entrepreneurs have managed to greatly increase the output of draperies and found new markets in our capital for the processed goods. We're getting a lot of development, free development here, which is quite nice.